What's going on, everybody? My name's illmatic, and I just want to give you a quick channel update for 2013 and beyond. Now, first thing I'll tackle is, you may or may not have wondered why I introduced myself as illmatic when my account name says Killer Cavalry. The reason for that is Killer Cavalry is the name of a group I started with my co-host Ill Consistency of the Podcast About Nothing series and a couple other individuals, and it's a hip-hop group that we started back in 2001, and we've made over 100 tracks together, had a lot of fun, and that's where that comes from.
My superior war tactics choreograph the whole practice. The rap circles around these cats until I left their ass backwards. I'm lyrically past mastery, chemical rap catastrophe. The rip jacks inflict that biblical type of rap and be your bastard. See the deity, the entity who seems to be inside those sleep dreams and the screams of your nightmares. I get like Freddy Krueger, bitch, and rip your ass right.
Also, illmatic. The name that I introduced myself by is taken from what is universally considered the best, if not, one of the best hip-hop albums of all time, and that is Illmatic by Nas. So I understand that hip-hop culture and the culture of Let's Players, video games in general, particularly the type of video games that I'm generally interested in, the lesser-known strategy, RPG type of games, those two cultures generally aren't congruent with each other, but I'm a bit of an onion, so there you go. I respect it. If you don't enjoy that music, that's all fine. As long as you like video games, we can get along just fine. Moving on from that, I'll talk briefly about how I got into this in the first place and what led me to YouTube. Now, I've always had a love for creating things. I've always loved writing from an early age, and that's what at first led me into hip-hop, into music. The creation of, writing the lyrics and then creating the music and recording it and then sharing it with other individuals. I've always enjoyed that, and as I've gotten older, I've kind of drifted away from hip-hop a little bit. The three of us, the initial founders of that group, have we're kind of spread apart a little bit, and I have other obligations that I have to fill, and when I do these YouTube videos, that kind of fills that creative niche for me to create something that I'm proud of and share it with others. And I also have a background in audio engineering, and that stemmed from my love of hip-hop and creation of the music. I really got into the technical side of things, as I always do, being the geek that I am, and I really enjoyed getting in there in the audio editing programs and really tearing apart the WAV files and reconstructing them and trying to make them as best as they technically can be. The editing process for videos is not that dissimilar from editing audio, believe it or not. You look at something like I don't know if you guys are familiar with that program. There's a program called Acid that is owned by Sony. It wasn't always so. I used it back before Sony bought them out. But anyhow, you may be more familiar with the video editor, which is called Vegas, also owned by Sony. And if you look at those two programs, they're almost identical in their function, except for Vegas adds the video functionality. So I was very familiar jumping into that. And I made a joke video spoofing a hip-hop song by Drake. And I changed the lyrics around to make it about cats, just for the hell of it. And so I jumped into Vegas and I pieced together a short video with Google Images, and it all kind of started from there, really. So then I started, I love video games. I love talking in the microphones. Why not put the two of them together? So that's what kind of led me here. And I've enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed all the feedback I've received. So far, I have over 4,500 video views, which is awesome. I really appreciate it, guys. 28 subscribers, and I really don't do this for the numbers, because that's a quick way to get discouraged. But I do appreciate knowing that people watch the videos and appreciate them. So, to everybody out there that's watching my videos, to anybody that's watching this right now, sincerely, I just want to thank you. And moving on through 2013, I got a lot of stuff in store. First and foremost is the Nethergate series, which is by far my most popular series to date. The first video in that playlist has over 1,300 views, so more than I could expect. It really just blown away with how many people watched that. It was such an underground game at the time, and I didn't expect it to receive that kind of feedback from people. But I'm glad that people are watching it. Glad that you're enjoying it. I'm going to continue on with that. We're in chapter 2 of 5, I believe it is. Though I think we're getting close to the end of chapter 2 now. So. Moving along, not quite to the halfway point, and I've already worked on episode 8. That should be up shortly. And something I would like to talk about in terms of my uploads is I'm going to try to set a schedule ongoing. May not always stick to it, but I'm going to try. And that way you guys might have a little bit of regularity in terms of when you can... That just makes me think of fiber and bathrooms and yeah. That's what happens when you get old, people. Let you guys have some kind of expectation about when you can expect my videos up. I'm going to try to upload the videos every Wednesday and Sunday, but we'll see how that goes. Could be more, could be less, we'll see. Hopefully at least that, maybe sneak in a couple extras. We'll just see how it goes, but that way you can kind of expect my videos on a somewhat regular basis. The other series I'm working on is Victoria 2 as Belgium. Now, that is also not an extremely popular game. I mean, it comes from a company, Paradox Interactive, who makes a series of games which aren't popular in the first place, and Victoria 2 is one of the least popular games from them. It's a very small niche, but I do love it for its complexity. I mean, if you're not familiar with it, Paradox makes games that are Civilization-ish. That's what my girlfriend calls it every time I fire up one of those games. Oh, you're playing one of your Civilization games again. Yeah. No, it's a lot deeper than Civilization, and that turns people off sometimes, but I do enjoy it. And for anybody watching that series, I'll continue that along, and just give me feedback about what you feel about it. And in the future, what I plan to be looking into next, perhaps, is I've been thinking about doing the Myth series, which is one of my favorite games of all time. In fact, Myth 2 is my favorite game ever. It's the game I've played most out of anything ever, so I definitely plan on doing that at some point. Also plan on moving into the Exile series after I finish Nethergate, being that it is based by the same developer and a very similar style between the two of them. So I think that'll be a natural transition to go into that. Beyond that, I may try some more retro console titles, particularly ones from Koei strategy games, like for the Super Nintendo and such. That's a definite possibility in the upcoming future. As far as the podcast series, I don't know if anybody watches that. That has received a bit of feedback in the past, but my co-host in that is currently without internet access. So we'll see if we can't perhaps put out one of those in the future when things come around. So that's pretty much it for the channel update, guys. Once again, I do appreciate you watching. Sincerely, thank you for all your feedback, your comments, your likes, and your subscription. I hate to be a bit of a whore when it comes to that. I never mention it in the videos. I never say like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. But if you do it, thank you, really. All right, guys. Well, that's all for now, and I'll see you around. All right, take care.